You felt it, didn't you? That shift, that tightening in your chest when something tried to diminish you again. Listen carefully. You are not ordinary. You never have been. And when your spirit is provoked, it does not respond like everyone else's. It does not collapse. It does not beg. It does not negotiate for crumbs. It ignites. Have you noticed it? The world pushes. The enemy whispers. Darkness tests your boundaries. And instead of shrinking, something inside you rises. You used to tolerate what dishonored you. You used to stay quiet to keep peace. You used to bend so others could stay comfortable. But now it feels wrong, almost violent to your soul. That is not rebellion. That is not ego. That is awakening. Chosen one. This message is not for the crowd. Not everyone will understand what is happening inside you. Only the marked recognize this fire. Only the anointed feel this shift. There are 9 internal supernovas that ignite when your spirit is provoked. 9. And they do not activate in the ordinary. They activate in the chosen. If this resonates already, you know why you're here. Stay connected. Align yourself, because what you're about to hear will confirm what you've been sensing in silence. First, Supernova 1. The sudden refusal to shrink. You feel it the moment your spirit is challenged. An unexplainable resistance. It is subtle at first, a discomfort, a tightening, a quiet voice that says, no more. What once intimidated you now irritates you. Have you noticed that the same behavior that used to make you question yourself now exposes itself? The manipulation, the condescension, the dismissal. It no longer makes you doubt, it makes you aware. You used to think your sensitivity was weakness. You thought you were too much, too intense, too passionate, too aware. But what if you were never too much? What if you were always too aware for a world that prefers numbness? When your spirit is provoked, silence begins to feel like betrayal. Staying small begins to feel like disobedience to your own calling. And that unsettles you, because you were trained to survive by shrinking. You learned that isolation was safer than confrontation. You learned that blending in protected you from attack. But you were never designed to blend in. You were designed to stand out. This refusal to shrink is not pride rising. It is identity remembering. It is the anointing rejecting confinement. The enemy preferred you uncertain. The world preferred you accommodating. But your spirit knows its assignment. And when that assignment is threatened, something ancient awakens. You stop apologizing for your depth. You stop explaining your boundaries. You stop minimizing your presence. You feel taller. Not physically, spiritually. This is warfare meeting favor. This is pressure meeting purpose. The very forces that tried to suppress you have triggered your expansion. Do you understand what that means? Every attempt to silence you was actually preparing you to speak. Every rejection was strengthening your spine. Every moment you were overlooked was building internal authority. So when you now refuse to shrink, it feels unfamiliar. But it is holy. Stand firm in it. Do not retreat. This is only the first ignition. And if this fire feels powerful, wait until you understand what happens next. Second, Supernova 2. Holy anger that clarifies instead of corrupts. You felt it rise. Not rage, not chaos. Something cleaner, sharper. A heat that did not blur your vision, but sharpened it. Have you noticed that your anger now feels different? It does not spiral. It does not scream for revenge. It does not crave destruction. It demands alignment. That is not emotional instability. That is spiritual intolerance for what dishonors your assignment. You used to fear your anger. You thought it made you flawed. You were told to suppress it, to stay agreeable, to remain digestible for the comfort of others. But chosen ones are not called to be digestible. You are called to be transformative. And when your spirit is provoked, your anger becomes a refining fire. Listen. Darkness expected you to explode. The enemy expected you to lose control, to sabotage yourself, to prove them right. But instead, you became precise. You became aware. You began to see exactly what crossed the line, exactly what dishonored your calling, exactly what could no longer remain in your atmosphere. That surge you feel is not corruption, it is correction. Holy anger is not about punishing others. It is about protecting purpose. It rises when your boundaries are violated. It ignites when your destiny is challenged. It awakens when the warfare becomes obvious. And suddenly what you once tolerated becomes intolerable. Not because you are sensitive, because you are sanctified. The world teaches you to numb anger. The Spirit teaches you to channel it. Can you feel the difference? Your anger now carries focus. It says, this does not belong in my life. It says, this cannot remain attached to my calling. It says, enough. That word alone shifts atmospheres. Enough. Not screamed in hysteria, spoken in authority. You are no longer angry because you are wounded. You are angry because you are awake. There is a difference. The wounded react. The awakened discern. And discernment is dangerous to darkness. This is why the provocation intensified. Because the enemy would rather you stay confused than clarified. But pressure has clarified you. You now recognize dishonor quickly. You feel misalignment instantly. You sense manipulation before it forms. This is not overreaction. This is elevation. Your anger is becoming a sword, not to harm, but to cut away what hinders you. Stand firm in it. Do not let anyone shame you back into silence. Holy anger is evidence that your spirit refuses compromise. It is favor refusing contamination. It is light rejecting darkness. And when this fire settles, what remains is focus. What remains is courage. What remains is a version of you that will no longer tolerate what diminishes destiny. This is escalation. This is refinement. This is the second ignition. And if this fire feels controlled yet powerful, wait until you understand what happens when your isolation becomes intentional. Third, supernova, 3 isolation that feels like strategic withdrawal. You have noticed it. The pull, the quiet distancing, the sudden need to step back. And for a moment you question yourself. Am I becoming cold? Am I losing people? Why does everything feel louder? And yet I want silence. Listen carefully. This is not weakness. This is recalibration. When your spirit is provoked, you do not just react outwardly. You retreat inwardly, not to escape, to strengthen. Conversations that once entertained you now exhaust you. Small talk feels heavy. Surface-level exchanges feel like sandpaper against your soul. Have you felt that you sit in rooms and sense misalignment before words are spoken? You feel energy drain when purpose is absent. You feel irritation when destiny is mocked. This is not arrogance, it is awareness. Isolation begins to feel necessary, not because you hate people, but because your assignment requires clarity. The world calls it distancing. Heaven calls it consolidation. You are pulling back because access to you is sacred. Not everyone qualifies. Not everyone can handle your frequency. Not everyone can steward your calling. And when your spirit is provoked, you instinctively protect what is holy. The enemy would love to label this as loneliness, but it is not loneliness, it is filtration. Light does not apologize for separating from darkness. Fire does not apologize for burning away impurity. And you are both. You are light. You are fire. This withdrawal is strategic. You are evaluating who aligns with your next level. You are discerning who can walk with you where you are going. You are recognizing that proximity is privilege, and privilege must be earned. Have you noticed that some relationships feel distant without conflict, no argument, no explosion, just clarity? That is divine consolidation. God will isolate you before He elevates you, because elevation requires focus, and focus cannot survive constant noise. You used to fear being alone. Now you crave alignment. You used to chase inclusion. Now you guard access. That shift is not accidental. It is intentional. When your spirit is provoked, it demands purity in your circle. It demands intentionality in your time. It demands strength in your inner world. So you withdraw, not in defeat, in preparation. Darkness interprets your silence as weakness. It has no idea you are sharpening in solitude. It sees distance. It does not see development. And while others misunderstand your quiet, you are becoming unshakable. You are fortifying. You are cleansing. You are aligning. Do not rush back into noise to ease discomfort. Stand in the solitude. Trust the separation. Because when consolidation is complete, your presence will carry more weight than ever before. This is escalation. This is refinement at a deeper level. This is the third ignition. And if strategic isolation feels powerful, wait until you understand what awakens in your perception next. Fourth, Supernova 4. At a heightened discernment that cuts through masks. You see it now, before they finish the sentence, before the smile fully forms, before the handshake tightens. You see it, and it unsettles you. Because you did not always see this clearly. There was a time when you second-guessed your instincts. You over-explained red flags. You spiritualized manipulation. You called disrespect a misunderstanding. But now the veil lifts quickly. Energy shifts in a room and you feel it immediately. A tone changes and you catch it instantly. A compliment carries envy and you sense the sting beneath the sweetness. This is not suspicion. This is sharpened sight. When your spirit was provoked, something activated in your perception. Darkness thought pressure would cloud you. Instead, it clarified you. Have you noticed how you can read the atmosphere without anyone speaking? You walk into spaces and know who is aligned. You sense who is celebrating you. You sense who is competing with you. Nothing dramatic, just knowing. That knowing is dangerous to the enemy because hidden agendas survive in ignorance, but they collapse under discernment. You are no longer fooled by charisma. You are no longer hypnotized by words. You feel intention, and intention does not lie. The world calls this overthinking, but the spirit calls it awareness. You were provoked so your spiritual eyesight could mature. Pressure removed naivety. Warfare trained perception. Rejection refined your filters. Now you detect subtle disrespect before it grows. You sense manipulation before it entangles you. You recognize envy before it poisons proximity. This is not about becoming cynical. It is about becoming clear. Light does not argue with darkness. It exposes it, and you are carrying more light now. That is why masks irritate you. That is why fake alignment feels heavy. That is why shallow loyalty feels offensive. Your discernment is cutting through illusion, and illusion cannot survive exposure. Listen, not everyone will understand this shift. Some will say you have changed. They are right. You have. You no longer ignore what your spirit highlights. You no longer gaslight your intuition. You no longer shrink your awareness to preserve comfort. You trust what you see, and what you see is deeper than behavior. You see motives. You see patterns. You see cycles. This is escalation, because discernment changes how you move. It changes who you trust. It changes who you allow near your destiny. Darkness cannot easily ambush someone who sees in advance, and you are beginning to see in advance. This is not accidental. This is protection. This is favor guarding assignment. Stand firm in it. Do not apologize for your clarity. Do not dilute your perception to make others comfortable. You were sharpened for this. And if your sight feels sharper than ever, wait until you feel what rises inside your authority next. Fifth, Supernova 5. An inner authority that overrides external noise. You feel it, the shift, the quiet strength rising beneath the surface. Criticism does not hit the same anymore. It used to rattle you. It used to echo in your mind at night. It used to make you question your worth, your calling, your voice. But now it lands and falls. Why? Because something deeper has taken its place. You are no longer governed by external approval. You are no longer destabilized by external rejection. There is a throne inside you that has awakened, and it does not answer to the crowd. Listen carefully. The war around you forced this, the betrayal, the misunderstanding, the silent treatment, the smear campaigns. All of it pressed you. All of it tested you. All of it tried to make you bow. But instead of bowing outwardly, something enthroned itself inwardly. You stopped asking, do they approve? You started asking, am I aligned? That is power. You stopped chasing applause. You started honoring assignment. That is authority. The world feeds on validation. It breathes approval. It fears rejection. But you are beginning to move from command. Command does not beg. Command does not explain itself to doubters. Command moves because it knows. Have you noticed the quiet confidence growing in you? Not arrogance, not ego, certainty. A knowing that does not need consensus. a conviction that does not need permission. This is what happens when provocation matures you. Darkness tried to break your confidence. Instead, it built your core. Every time you were misunderstood, you learned to stand alone. Every time you were criticized unfairly, you learned to listen inward. Every time you were overlooked, you learned to validate yourself through obedience, not applause. That is why criticism is losing its grip. It cannot penetrate what is anchored internally. Approval is losing its seduction. It cannot sway what is already affirmed by purpose. You are dangerous now, because a person who cannot be manipulated by praise or insult cannot be controlled, and control is what the enemy prefers. But you are slipping out of control. You are operating from inner command. You feel it when you make decisions. You do not panic as much. You do not explain as much. You do not shrink as much. You decide. You act. You move, even when it costs you, especially when it costs you, because you would rather lose approval than lose alignment. That is kingly. That is sovereign. That is what happens when the throne within activates. Stand in it. Do not retreat to insecurity. Do not surrender your inner seat for temporary comfort. You have suffered too much to remain small. You have endured too much warfare to doubt your authority now. This is the pivot. You are no longer just surviving attacks, you are governing yourself. And when self-governance becomes stable, creative power begins to explode under pressure. Sixth, Supernova 6, creative power that explodes under pressure. You have seen this pattern. Every time the pressure increases, something in you produces. Every time opposition rises, your ideas sharpen. Every time they try to silence you, your voice becomes clearer. Have you noticed the very attack meant to suppress you ends up strengthening your expression? That is not coincidence. That is design. You were built differently. Most people break under pressure. You build under pressure. Most people shut down when criticized. You create when cornered. Most people shrink when opposed. You expand. Why? Because you were constructed like a star. And stars are not born in comfort. They are formed in compression, heat, density, force. The enemy thought pressure would crush you. Instead, it concentrated you. It pushed you inward. It forced you to dig deeper. And when you dug deeper, you found gifts you did not know were there. Pain stopped being a prison. It became fuel. Rejection stopped being a wound. It became revelation. You started writing differently, speaking differently, thinking differently. You began solving problems with precision. You began seeing strategies in chaos. You began turning trauma into testimony. That is creative warfare. Darkness pushes, you produce. Darkness attacks, you innovate. Darkness provokes, you generate. That is dangerous, because a chosen one who can turn pressure into power cannot be contained. Have you ever wondered why the attacks come right before your breakthrough? Why resistance intensifies when you are about to release something powerful? It is not random. Your gifts intensify when opposed. Your creativity multiplies when challenged. The friction activates something. It sharpens your focus. It burns away distraction. It forces you into alignment with your highest potential. You were never meant to be comfortable. You were meant to be catalytic. Pressure reveals what comfort conceals, and what it is revealing in you is brilliance. Listen, do not fear the compression. Do not curse the heat. Stand in it, because every time you survive it, your output increases. Your ideas deepen. Your clarity strengthens. Your impact widens. The world sees stress. Heaven sees formation. The world sees conflict. Heaven sees ignition. You are not just enduring attacks. You are converting them. And the more you convert, the more unstoppable you become. This is not survival anymore. This is manifestation. The star within you is forming. And once it fully ignites, it will not ask for permission to shine. It will simply burn. And if creative power under pressure feels explosive, wait until you understand what happens when fear itself begins to transform inside you. Seventh, Supernova. 7. Fear transforms into strategic boldness. You still feel fear. Do not deny it. It shows up. Before the call, before the decision, before the leap. Your heart beats faster. Your mind scans outcomes. Your body tightens. But something is different now. Fear no longer paralyzes you, it positions you. Have you noticed that the fear does not vanish? It converts, it sharpens your focus, it heightens your awareness, it forces you to calculate instead of retreat. This is not reckless courage, this is strategic boldness. There was a time when fear meant stop. Now fear means prepare. There was a time when intimidation meant shrink. Now intimidation means advance carefully. You are not becoming fearless, you are becoming dangerous. Because fear in the hands of the chosen becomes fuel. The enemy hoped fear would freeze you. Instead, it trained you. Every betrayal taught you caution. Every setback taught you strategy. Every loss taught you timing. Now when fear rises, you do not collapse. You assess. You align. You move. You sense it deeply. Hesitation now would cost destiny. Delay now would dishonor growth. You feel the countdown, not anxiety, urgency. You know when the moment is ripe. You know when silence has expired. You know when it is time to step. This is escalation. You are no longer reacting to life. You are initiating movement. The world waits for certainty before acting. The chosen act in obedience despite uncertainty. That is the difference. Light moves forward even when shadows whisper. Favor advances even when warfare surrounds. You are no longer asking, "What if I fail?" You are asking, "What if I disobey?" That shift changes everything. Fear used to be a wall. Now it is a doorway. You feel it when you make bold choices your old self would avoid. You send the message, you start the project, you end the relationship, you speak the truth, and your hands may shake, but you move anyway. That is authority under pressure. That is destiny overriding doubt. You were not designed to live safe. You were designed to live aligned. And alignment requires movement. Stand firm. Do not wait for perfect comfort. Do not wait for total clarity. Move when instructed. Move when it burns. Move when the moment opens. Because the provocation was not meant to scare you. It was meant to mobilize you. You are stepping into territory your old identity could not survive. But your new identity commands it. This is not reckless ambition. This is divine acceleration. You are no longer shrinking. You are no longer only creating. You are advancing. And if strategic boldness feels powerful, wait until you understand what happens when old timelines begin collapsing around you. Eighth, Supernova 8. A. Severing from timelines that no longer fit. You feel the detachment. It is subtle at first. Old dreams do not excite you the same way. Old conversations feel outdated. Old environments feel too tight, and it confuses you because you worked hard to build that life. You prayed for it. You fought for it. You survived to stabilize it. So why does it suddenly feel too small? Why does it feel like you're outgrowing rooms you once begged to enter? Listen carefully. This is not ingratitude. This is evolution. When your spirit is provoked at this level, entire timelines begin to collapse. Doors close quickly, sometimes violently. People pull away. Opportunities dissolve. Plans unravel. It feels abrupt. It feels destabilizing. But it is not random. It is severing. You are not being punished. You are being repositioned. The life you built was necessary for who you were, but it cannot contain who you are becoming. Have you noticed how certain relationships feel strained without conflict? No dramatic ending, just misalignment. Have you noticed how some ambitions now feel foreign, as if you are trying to wear clothes that no longer fit? That is not confusion. That is expansion. Darkness tries to make you panic when doors close. It whispers, you are losing everything. But heaven is collapsing what would limit you. This is timeline collapse before ascension. You are not losing your future. You are shedding your ceiling. And ceilings must break before altitude increases. You feel detached because your identity has outgrown the container. You feel restless because your spirit senses more. You feel unsettled because the old map cannot guide the new terrain. This is pressure before breakthrough. The enemy hoped the instability would scare you back into comfort. But comfort is no longer an option. You cannot return to smaller thinking. You cannot return to diluted environments. You cannot return to versions of yourself that survived but did not reign. Something in you refuses regression. That is divine protection. The world calls it instability. Heaven calls it transition. Stand firm in the severing. Do not chase closed doors. Do not resurrect expired connections. Do not mourn what cannot follow you. This is not loss. It is liberation. You are being pulled into a timeline that matches your awakened authority, and that shift requires space. Space created by collapse. Space created by detachment. Space created by divine disruption. You are not falling apart. You are being lifted out. And if the collapse feels intense, if the severing feels final, wait until you understand what ignites when you stop surviving entirely and start confronting destiny head-on. Ninth, Supernova 9. The birth of the uncontainable self. This is where it becomes irreversible. You feel it. Not just growth, not just awareness, finality. When your spirit is fully provoked, something ignites that cannot be put back to sleep. You stop negotiating. You stop explaining your light to darkness. You stop shrinking your fire so others can remain comfortable in shadows. You confront, calmly, directly, without apology. Have you noticed you no longer argue to be understood? You state truth and let it stand. You no longer chase validation. You carry authority. You no longer survive environments. You shift them. Your presence alone begins to disrupt stagnant systems. Rooms change when you enter. Conversations adjust when you speak. Hidden agendas surface when you observe. Why? Because you are no longer operating from wounded identity. You are operating from awakened assignment. This is dangerous to darkness, because darkness thrives where light is unsure. But you are no longer unsure. You are certain. Certain of who you are. Certain of what you carry. Certain of what you will not tolerate. The final supernova is not emotional. It is governmental. You stop surviving. You start governing. You govern your reactions. You govern your atmosphere. You govern your access. You govern your movement. The war did not destroy you. It crowned you. The pressure did not crush you. It revealed you. The isolation did not weaken you. It fortified you. Everything that tried to erase you ended up unveiling you. Do you understand what that means? You cannot go back. You cannot return to the smaller version of yourself. You cannot pretend ignorance. You cannot unsee what you now see. You are uncontainable, not loud, not reckless, uncontainable in spirit, uncontainable in conviction, uncontainable in purpose. The enemy senses it. That is why resistance intensified. Because once this ignition happens, you become spiritually untouchable by ordinary forces. Attacks may come, but they will not land the same. Criticism may rise, but it will not penetrate the same. You are operating from throne level now, and thrones do not panic. They decree, stand in it. Do not retreat. Do not dilute. Do not apologize for the authority you now carry. This is the birth of your governing self, and the world will feel it. You are chosen. You were never random. You were never overlooked. Every betrayal prepared you. Every rejection strengthened you. Every attack refined you. You are marked, protected, assigned, and nothing formed against you will overturn what has been ignited inside you. If this message confirmed what you already feel burning within, comment the number 9. Seal it. Declare it. Let darkness know you are awake. Subscribe if you have not, because this is not the end of your ignition. This is the beginning of your reign. You are not ordinary. You are not accidental. You are chosen. And what has ignited in you cannot be extinguished.